Welcome to The Explainer. Let's kick things off with a brutally honest question. Do you absolutely hate schmoozing strangers for leads? Seriously, if the mere thought of awkwardly approaching someone in the produce aisle at the grocery store to hand them your business card makes you want to literally run for the hills, well, you are definitely not alone. For a huge majority of real estate and sales professionals, forced networking is just universally dreaded. It feels unnatural, it comes off as overly aggressive, and frankly, it makes a lot of us just want to keep our heads down and avoid the whole process entirely.
And look, if you're sitting there right now thinking, oh, not me, I'm completely fine with it, I have zero fear of lead generation. Well, as this quote straight from our Source Mastermind session candidly puts it, if you're saying no, you're lying. I mean, it's incredibly validating to hear top coaches actually acknowledge this, right? Most of us simply weren't born into that world of slick sales and schmoozing. So that hesitation you're feeling, it is completely 100% normal. The fear of putting yourself out there is literally the very first barrier everyone has to break through.
So that brings us right to the core of today's explainer, which we're calling The Authentic Advisor, a masterclass in organic lead generation. Our main goal today is to unpack the insights from a sprawling, highly strategic mastermind coaching session and use them to completely transform how you approach your business. We're going to show you how to ditch the role of the reluctant, awkward salesperson and instead step confidently into the shoes of a trusted, authentic advisor, using organic methods that actually align with who you are.
Okay, here is our roadmap. We've taken this massive masterclass and boiled it down into 5 actionable strategies. 1. Overcoming lead generation hesitation. 2. Networking through authentic hobbies. 3. Intentional daily marketing tactics. 4. Mastering the buyer consultation. And 5. Embracing authentic social media. Let's jump right in.
First up is Section 1, Overcoming Lead Generation Hesitation. And we're starting with the mindset roadblock.
You know, the biggest misconception out there in sales is that you have to do these wildly uncomfortable things to find new clients. We tell ourselves that because just sitting around waiting for the phone to ring obviously doesn't work, forced networking must be the only other option. But that's a totally false choice. Before we get into any of the fun, tactical stuff, we really have to anchor ourselves to this foundational concept: time on task over time. This is basically the realization that consistent, long-term effort is what's actually required to expand your sphere of influence. You have to accept that massive success, it's not going to happen in month 1 or even month 2. But if you commit to time on task over time and just keep putting in those reps, your sphere will inevitably grow. It's the absolute essential mindset you need to make any of the tactics we're about to discuss actually work.
Moving right along to Section 2, Networking through authentic hobbies, or shifting from hunting to gardening.
Now this right here is a massive paradigm shift. Instead of going out into the wild and awkwardly hunting for leads among total strangers, like, again, that cold approach at the grocery store, you are going to garden. And how do you do that? You plant yourself in environments where you naturally thrive. You meet new people through your actual existing interests. During the mastermind, there was this one agent who shared how volunteering on weekends at a camp for disabled youth naturally sparked real estate conversations, all because she was simply hanging out with people who shared her passions. Another agent, an avid backyard gardener, started joining local botanical societies. You just place yourself in a space you genuinely enjoy, and the connections, they happen completely organically. Absolutely no sleazy sales pitch required.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 3, Intentional Daily Marketing Tactics. These are small actions for a big database.
So, once you're hanging out in the right environments, you need specific micro-tactics to actually collect contact information without ever feeling, salesy. And honestly, these daily actions are brilliantly simple. Think about it. If you love gardening, drive around, find some beautifully landscaped homes, and just send 2 to 3 handwritten notes a week complimenting their yard. That is highly targeted, highly personalized farming. You could also network with local landscapers or florists. Or take the example of a teacher who's a regular at a local bar. Just offer to buy someone a beer in exchange for them scanning your QR code to join your real estate newsletter. It's genius. You can even throw your logo on a local youth sports team's shirt. These are all super low-stress, high-value ways to subtly introduce your business.
But listen to me, none of those tactics, literally 0 of them, will work without this one vital phrase: intention is everything. I want you to ask yourself a really powerful rhetorical question that came up during the session. Are you being intentional enough to have real estate conversations in the places you already frequent? Whether you're at the gym, playing in a volleyball league, or just grabbing a drink, you have to walk in there with this quiet, internal intention to gently pivot conversations toward real estate the second a natural opportunity pops up.
All right, let's shift gears a bit to Section 4, Mastering the Buyer Consultation, moving folks from wishy-washy to committed.
Because let's be real, generating leads is only half the battle, right? The other half is conversion. And a huge frustration for agents is dealing with wishy-washy buyers who essentially just want you to be a free tour guide. To fix this, you have to take total control using a structured consultation process. Step 1, uncover their motivation. Really dig in and ask why they are moving. Step 2, reverse engineer their timeline. If they want to be moved in by, say, 6 months, map out on a calendar exactly when they need to start looking. Step 3, help them visualize the goal. And Step 4, clearly define the exact next steps before you ever end the meeting. The major takeaway here is that you absolutely must slow down on the front end to speed things up on the back end. Don't just rush out to unlock a door. Run the consultation first.
Actually, I want to hover on Step 3 for just a second. Visualization creates attachment and urgency. One of the agents in the session had this incredible natural talent for asking buyers to clearly picture their future home. She'd ask, when do you see yourself in it? What does it look like, feel like? When you help a client vividly imagine their future like that, it creates a powerful emotional attachment. And guess what? That emotional attachment naturally drives their timeline forward completely on its own, without you ever having to apply weird sales pressure.
And finally, we hit Section 5, embracing authentic social media, which is basically your modern CRM.
Now, for a lot of professionals, this is by far the most intimidating hurdle. We dodge social media because we are terrified of looking like fake, self-absorbed influencers. But if you're stressing over needing to look perfectly polished all the time, let this incredibly candid coaching rant set you free. The coach, speaking from the perspective of a potential client watching an agent's overly styled, highly produced video, literally said, "Get your literal butt off of my counter. Just be you." People do not care about your vanity poses. They just want your authenticity. You just need to show up as yourself. So let's talk numbers, because this is crucial. A 5 to 10% return. That is the exact return you should be seeing from a properly engaged database. To put that into perspective, if you have a list of 200 people and you are effectively staying in front of them using tools like social media, you should be generating 10 to 20 deals a year strictly from that list. If you aren't hitting those numbers, the hard truth is you are losing deals simply because you are out of sight and out of mind.
So here's your final tactical social media playbook to make sure you stay top of mind. First, start posting day-in-the-life lifestyle content. An agent down in Texas who specializes in farms mentioned that her absolute most popular posts are when she is sweaty, totally unpolished, and just working with her horses. Real beats perfect every single time. Second, share niche value, like those seasonal gardening tips we talked about earlier. Third, if you ever get writer's block, just use AI to generate 10 posts in a matter of minutes. Give it a quick prompt and then tweak it so it sounds like you. And above all else, remember the golden rule. Done beats perfect.
Well, we have covered a lot. Mindset, authentic hobbies, intentional daily tactics, buyer consultations, and leveraging social media. But to wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with one final deeply provocative challenge straight from the Mastermind session. What are you currently avoiding that you know would move your business forward? Seriously, it is time to stop making excuses. Stop hiding from the work. Pick just one strategy we went over today, embrace your true authentic self, and take immediate action right now. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and go make it happen.